Hello, adventurer. It's good to see you. You have made it to the morning grind.
Welcome, welcome.
It's the live stream at the beginning of the Geekverse, where we talk about all types of topics in geekdom, gaming, and fantasy, with an emphasis on being constructive and creating the things that we want to exist in the world.
It's all on the grind, Sizemore. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
That's exactly right. There are a lot of adventures to be had today. Dungeons to explore and monsters to slay, and who knows what a random encounter might send our way. That's why we have to prepare, so settle in now for the morning grind with your favorite beverage in hand.
Tea? Or maybe something a little stronger. I've got a few bottles of the old Wynyard left.
Whatever you want. Pull up a chair.
Dude.
If you're feeling fancy, how about a cappuccino? Or a frappuccino? Or how about an espresso?
Just tea, thank you.
Sounds good to me, Gandalf. Whatever you want. I'm just glad you're here.
Everyone is welcome. You can just watch if you want. You don't have to worship anything you don't want to worship.
Thank you, Mike. But be forewarned.
Sometimes we get really strange characters around here.
Wait, what's that you say? Why can't you come and be a part of the stream?
My wife would disown me.
Oh no, I bet she'll be fine with it. Come on in.
Am I scared for my safety? No.
What are we supposed to do?
Everybody do the secret handshake.
Secret cultist handshake.
Oh, now do wizards who love each other.
This, my friend, is a science.
I still don't have gills, but it's fine.
It's all on the grind, son. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
Dude, this would be a sick place to bring the band.
Indeed it would be, Dave. It really would. I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Oh, look, here's someone new.
Is this the cultist meetup?
Yes it is.
Come to hang out? Please accept me. I have nothing else.
Okay, we accept you. Everyone's welcome here.
Brought some snacks.
Well, that makes things even better.
You want some coffee? I don't drink coffee.
You sure? It's cultist coffee.
What makes it cultist coffee?
I'm a cultist and I'm drinking it.
Oh. Then I'll have some.
What exactly is going on here?
I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome, welcome. It's so great to have you. Oh, and look, here comes another stranger.
Can we help you?
Yes, fellow cultists. I could really use some food.
Oh yeah? Welcome. We have donuts.
Oh, it's me. I'm glad I'm here. I'm sure you have a few questions for me, though.
What's your name? Who do you work for? What god do you worship?
Great questions, Rob.
I'm Steve King, and I worship Nyarlathotep.
No, not really. I'm just Heath, and I won't be worshiping anything this morning. But I will be your host. Welcome to the office. We're going to have a great time. I've got my coffee ready, because now it's time for the morning grind.
If you could become a fish, that would be amazing. Then I could command you with my mental fish powers.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the office. Welcome to the morning grind. There, it looks a little bit better. Good to see you. I'm Heath. I'll be your host. I'm feeling good this morning. I hope you are too. It seems like another chill morning. We've got the chill kind of fall weather here. So chill in two ways. Fall coming in, and then also it was a great conversation last night with Doug and Retro Nerd Girl as we finished up the Ahsoka series. I think there was a lot of important things that we said about it. Of course, we were critical of it overall, but I think in a constructive way. I think it was an excellent conversation. And now I am chomping at the bit to get ready to continue with everything I got to do here in the fourth quarter of this year. And I hope you are too. James is here. James says, good morning. Made it back from the auto body shop in time for the grind. See, my car is in the shop, and now that's one thing that's going to throw a wrench in things. I've got to work on marketing today for both Goodnight Sword and the Christmas Story, because we'll talk about some dates on that here in a second, because that's coming down the pipe. I also want to edit some of the Ahsoka stuff that we talked about last night. I made that private here on this channel. I simulcasted again between this channel and the new dedicated Table Talk channel. I'm about to stop the simulcasting on that. So if you're not over on Table Talk on that channel, let me stop my syncing gigantic bouts of material through Dropbox. That'll probably help the internet here. You do need to come over to the Table Talk channel. Let me bring that up. That's still going very well. It was definitely the right solution to brand things. Oh, what got me started on that is that I want to get some stuff, the material out about Ahsoka, but my car is in the shop, and if they call me and tell me I can go get it, I'm going to have to take a hike. And I mean, actually take a hike to the it's not the body shop, but the automotive store shop, and pick up my car. It would be so great. But I'm not holding out. Even if they figure out what's wrong with it, I'm not sure that I'll still get it back today. But right over here, please make sure you're subscribed over here if you are enjoying Table Talk. There have been shorts going out and clips going out over there. So this right here, I'll put a link. Please sub to the Table Talk channel. We've been growing over there. Branding, there's been enough material now that, hey, branding really works. And I'm going to start re-releasing now, starting, I believe, this Thursday. I meant to do this last Thursday, but I forgot to schedule it. One of the older Table Talks will be coming out on Thursday at 7 o'clock. So we'll be live Tuesday night, but then there'll be a premiere of one of them on Thursday. We have now had, over the past 28 days over on that channel, 70,000 views, 70.8 thousand views. And we now have, what is that, a total of, is that telling me subscribers? Oh, yeah, 382 subscribers now, which is more from yesterday, which is more than yesterday. We've had an increase of 247 subscribers over there in the last 28 days. So that's going very well. Good morning, Zero the Blade. Good morning. Good morning, Tomocrat. Good morning, 7x7. So good to see you. I am glad to see you here. Let me see if I can adjust. I'm using a different camera because I don't know how to get the moisture out of my iPhone. I guess I'm going to take it someplace once I have a car again. So I'm using a secondary camera, and I actually kind of like this setup, but I realized I've got another camera that I'm going to try setting up. Might even be better. But for the moment, this is working. Old iPad that's been pressed into service. Good morning, Brett. Good morning. All right. So there is that going on. So I do have, I got a date here on the relaunch of Goodnight Sword. I was working on marketing yesterday. So Goodnight Sword is going to launch on Indiegogo, if you want a hard copy of it, 2 weeks from tomorrow. So it's going to be October. Wait, is it 2 weeks from tomorrow? No, excuse me. 1 week from tomorrow, October 17th. So I'm going to push marketing for a solid week on this, on Goodnight Sword. And then we'll launch on Indiegogo on the 17th and do a short campaign. Might only be a couple of weeks, might be 3 weeks, but might be 2 weeks. And so that's how you'll be able to get new hard copies of Goodnight Sword. If you were not in on the Kickstarter, it'll start on Indiegogo in 1 week, or 1 week and 1 day, October 17th. Please do come over here. And if you would like a free copy, if you know someone who would like a free copy and like to read Goodnight Sword, I will send a complete PDF of it, no problem, to your email, and then I'll also let you know when it's going live. And then on the 17th, here on the Morning Grind, we'll draw for a hard copy live on the grind. So that's how you sign up for that as well, if you would like to try to win a copy, if you would like to have one. James says, yes, that's a huge jump for just one night. It was like we were at, I don't remember what we were, but it was like, that's like 30 or something people yesterday. In fact, the information might tell me right here, like what came in yesterday. Uh, 41, October 8. On October 8, that's the latest data that actually, yes, that's yesterday. So on October 8, there were 41 people who came in and subscribed to the new Table Talk channel. So that's pretty incredible. I want to do the same thing with Dinner, a Board Game, and the Cultists. But I can't work with the Cultists quite yet because I got to work on the Goodnight Sword here. I got to make sure the Indiegogo page is ready to go. It's almost ready. It's probably about 80%. So I got to push it the last part of that. Got to do that. And then I got to get this Christmas story ready, because that's going to, the goal there would be to start marketing that as well about today, and then launch that in 2 weeks. 2 weeks in a day, make it a Tuesday. So 2 weeks. So there's a lot going on with that. But then also working with Dinner, a Board Game, and the Cultist is coming. But first, got to make sure Goodnight Sword gets out on Indiegogo and the Christmas story gets out. That's going to be Kickstarter. We're going to do the Christmas story on Kickstarter. Zero the Blade, I have not tried that yet. I think it's going to take longer than a day. But yes, I am going to try that. I tried the hair dryer technique, and that did not work. It did clear up the condensation for a while, but it didn't actually get it out of the phone, so it just came right back. So yes, I think I got some rice. So all right, let's see. We got to do our reading today. Well, I can say this is right over here. Share screen. We're talking at Table Talk. If you didn't see last night and you want to, it was a fantastic conversation. Just scroll down right here. This is Ahsoka Concludes right here. Past live streams. This stream right here is what we did last night. So I'll copy the link. Last night's stream. Right there. So if you want to get directly to it, it was fantastic. It was a great conversation. All right, let me take that down. So we're going to take a look. I figured out what this is. So we're going to take a look at the Rise of the Dragon today. But first, we need to breathe and sip, and we need to do our reading this morning. So I'm going to bring up The War of Art. This is The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. Helping me get through my day. Got to get these things done. Like I said, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good right now. Yeah, it turns the right. So it turns the water into vapors, and it's. I was trying to like, but it could move. I mean, the water vapor got in some way. I think the idea is that, well, maybe it can escape the same way that it came then, but it did not. It did not. All right, so got your coffee this morning? I ground up some coffee beans this morning, so let's go ahead and breathe and sip. 2 deep inhales, complete exhales. Take a sip, and then we will do our reading. So here we go. And sip. Okay, so yesterday we talked about resistance and criticism, and resistance and self-doubt. Today, resistance is resistance and fear. And resistance is, remember, everything that keeps us from being everything that we are supposed to be, especially everything that prevents us from doing whatever it is creatively that we should be doing. So resistance and fear. Are you paralyzed with fear? That's a good sign. Fear is good. Like self-doubt, fear is an indicator. Fear tells us what we have to do. Remember our rule of thumb. The more we're scared of our work or calling, the more sure we can be that we have to do it. Resistance is experienced as fear. The degree of fear equates to the strength of resistance. Therefore, the more fear we feel about a specific enterprise, the more certain we can be that the enterprise is important to us and the growth of our soul. That's why we feel so much resistance. If it meant nothing to us, there would be no resistance. Have you ever watched Inside the Actor's Studio? The host, James Lipton, invariably asks his guests, what factors make you decide to take a particular role? The actor always answers, because I'm afraid of it. The professional tackles the project that will make him stretch. He takes on the assignment that will bear him into uncharted waters, compels him to explore unconscious parts of himself. Is he scared? Hell yes, he's petrified. Conversely, the professional turns down roles that he's done before. He's not afraid of them anymore. Why waste his time? So if you're paralyzed with fear, it's a good sign. It shows what you have to do. I like that. I like that. resistance and love. Resistance is directly proportional to love. If you're feeling massive resistance, the good news is it means there's tremendous love there too. If you didn't love the project that's terrifying you, you wouldn't feel anything. The opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. The more resistance you experience, the more important your unmanifested art project enterprise is to you, and the more gratification you will feel when you finally do it. Great point. I like that. I really like these two sections. So yes, if you didn't love what you were trying to do, you wouldn't fear and have a problem with trying to get started. I like that. Oh, Multiverse DM says that's why DJ Your Story took 3 years and why MDM took 3 more years after that. All right. Okay, so this book over here, let me bring up the auxiliary camera, turn on this light. That light makes that camera look better. This is not as good of a camera, so I don't think it picks up light quite as well. But turn that on for the auxiliary camera over here. Well, go, auxiliary camera. Hey, good morning, Robert. So, what is this book? Josiah Firesnake was making a comment. He watches on replay, which, by the way, now I got the camera. So here's to you and all who are watching on replay. So I was talking about how I was trying to buy Fire and Blood because after watching The House of the Dragon, I was like, oh, I really like this. Maybe I should check out that book. And so the book is Fire and Blood. But I thought, and he said, now, his comment was something like, now I found that the secret to buying the book Fire and Blood is to check to see if the title Fire and Blood is written on the cover. If it is, that's probably a good sign that you're buying Fire and Blood. At least that's what worked for me. So yes, touche, yes. I should have just done that. I was not, but what I had heard. So I've got Fire and Blood in the Amazon shopping cart. Not that I can read that right now. No sense in ordering that now with this stack of books here. We're people around here who make things. So this is Faraway Bird. That's Doug's book. So Faraway Bird. We're going to take a look at these books on Table Talk. We don't have time yet, a time set for them yet because we've got to read them. But Faraway Bird is here. That's Doug's book. Mother of Believers. That's Cameron's book right here. So we've got Mother of Believers here. And then this one right here is Brianna De Silva's book, City of Reckoning. So going to be going through that. I already started this one. So I started reading City of Reckoning. So there's plenty of reading. So I don't need to bother with Fire and Blood at the moment. But I had heard, the reason I didn't just buy Fire and Blood is because I had heard, apparently incorrectly, that there was an illustrated edition of the story of the Song of Ice and Fire, the story of Rise the Dragon, or House the Dragon. For some reason, when I was going, what should I get? I guess I saw online or on the internet that there was an illustrated version. And so that's why I went, oh, well, then let me not get Fire and Blood. I'd really rather get the illustrated version. Why not? I think this is really cool. Let me get the illustrated version. And that's when I bought World of Ice and Fire incorrectly, which is the World book. And then I went, oh, I did just look and buy the wrong thing. The illustrated version is The Rise of the Dragon, an illustrated history of the Targaryen Empire. That's what this is, a Targaryen dynasty. But I thought that the section of Fire and Blood that was on the House of the Dragon was in this book, and that's what was illustrated. So I thought that it was the same text. Turns out it's not. So I was making that clarification today. So what we've got here is the Rise of the Dragon. Hang on, let me Rise of the Dragon Wikipedia. So this does tell the story of what is the House of the Dragon. So I was right there. But in contrast to Fire and Blood, Martin describes this book as written in a more encyclopedic style, similar to The World of Ice and Fire. So it's not the same text. It's not the same text, which I guess makes sense because some people were like, "Hey, wait a minute, didn't I buy this already?" I guess, but I thought that they went, "Hey, let's take that chunk that everybody's really likes because that's in the TV show, and let's illustrate it." But that is not what happened. So yes, I just screwed up. So eventually, I guess what I'll have to do is just get Fire and Blood. But nonetheless, today let's just see what this one is. The Rise of the Dragon. So a more encyclopedic telling of the House of the Dragon. But one of the things that I think is neat about, I like this, is neat about Fire and Blood is that it's supposed to be told by unreliable narrators. There are like 3 different tellings of those events in Fire and Blood. So if this one is more encyclopedic, then maybe they're making some calls about what's actually true or not. This is pretty cool. So this is what Dragonstone. This is the table at Dragonstone. That is pretty cool. So our contents are a preface, and then the conquest, the reign of Aegon I, the reign of Aenys I, the reign of Maegor, the reign of Jaehaerys, the reign of Viserys, the reign of Aegon II, the regency of Aegon III. We got Targaryen lineage, index, and art credits. So the preface, let's see if this else. Oh, the Doom of Valyria over here. I do love the artist. Hey, Charlie. Hey, Charlie. Good morning. The history of Westeros stretches back thousands of years, but the period in which House Targaryen unified the various realms into the 7 kingdoms, as we now know them, covers less than 300. The history of the family goes back farther than that, however, to its beginning in the freehold of Valyria. The Targaryens were an ancient and noble lineage, dragon lords who bred and rode the great beasts that had extended the freehold's power across western Essos. Yet they were still relatively minor family among the great Valyrian houses. When Aenar Targaryen sold his lands and properties and moved his entire family and their dragons to Valyria's westernmost outpost, the isle called Dragonstone in the Narrow Sea, his rivals thought him a coward. Little did he know that his daughter, Daenys the Dreamer, had foretold of the doom of Valyria. 12 years later, the freehold was destroyed in a cataclysm when the volcanic 14 flames erupted, shattering the Valyrian peninsula and the empire along with it. In the chaos that followed, all the dragon lords of Valyria perished, along with their dragons, apart from the Targaryens on their little rocky isle of Dragonstone. What followed in this book guides the first half of that period, beginning with Aegon's conquest through the end of the regency of Aegon III, Dragonbane. The Conquest. What is this? Not square. There we go. Like that. Hey, Andrew. Good morning, Andrew. Good to see you. Oh, we got the same style map here that was in the other book. The 7 Kingdoms. The Reach. I would say this is also a good depiction of their armor. Of course, this is, I guess, 300 years ago. What happened to my coffee? Oh, here it is. The Vale, the North. Dorne. Who is this? This is Maria Martell. Meria. I don't know her. The Arrival of the Targaryens. Is that Dragonstone? You should tell me. Yeah, Dragonstone over here. That's quite an interesting depiction of Dragonstone. Very serpentine. And organic looking. Interesting. Dragons torching longships. Balerion burning Harrenhal. Aegon's landing and the conquest. Looks like the last storm. Looks like we could be fighting Ironborn over here. Makes me want to get to work. Have a book like this. Hey James, did you get into Dark Goddess yesterday? The reign of Aegon the First. The Dragon Wars. I may send you the Christmas story. I've got it. Not only have I got to get the marketing together for that, but I've got to order a proof of that. Get everything together so we can get the layout done and order a proof of it, because it will need to ship as soon as the Kickstarter is done. Below, Daria brings Prince Namor's letter. The amount of art that's been generated. I wonder what the most illustrated fantasy world is. I mean, because the amount, of course, Middle Earth, there's been a tremendous amount of art done for Middle Earth. Well, the concept is, especially with the concept art for the movies. Do you count that? But then again, there's surely been a lot of concept art done for all of the Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon and all of that as well. Whatever the most detailed fantasy world is, but then also what's the most illustrated? The Dragonkin. James says, send it. I'm about a third of the way through Dark Goddess. We'll be finished tonight. Car troubles affected the schedule. Well, I understand car troubles. Okay, I'll send it to you then. It's just a short story. So, the reign of Aenys the First. This has got a pretty neat look to it. So I guess this is in the Sept. It might not be the Great Sept because it might not have been built yet. But this is an interesting artistic piece with the prism of the lights with the stained glass. Either Middle Earth or Franzetta, both of them sewed up the crucial Van Art demographic. Yeah, Franzetta has a lot, yes. Oh, 2/3 through. Oh. 1/3 left to comment. I hope she it would be great if she could share our comments with one another, because I'd be interested to know what you found in it, what's the same as what I had and what is different. We still haven't finished going through it ourselves. We went through maybe about a third of it. Tomorrow, she and I are going to have an extended meeting because we got to talk. She's got to give me feedback on the Christmas story, and I got to finish giving her feedback on Dark Goddess. Ascension and Rebellion. The Vulture King. Over here, this guy. There's a lot of this I don't know. I like his history. Martin's history. But there's no way that I could get into this as deep as I can get into Tolkien. Because that's basically all there was. Now, yes, I never got into like Dragonlance, and there were things like that. But as far as a fantasy world to dig into and to know everything about, later on came Forgotten Realms when we were playing Dungeons and Dragons. So I guess we read quite a bit about the Forgotten Realms as we played in that. I love that look. Royal Tensions. But I will never be as deep into a fantasy world as I have been into Middle Earth. Once again, we live in a plethora of a golden age of everything, it seems. So not only do you have magic, not only do you have fantasy worlds, but you've got plenty of fantasy worlds to dig into. The reign of Maegor the First. Bloody coronation. Well, somebody got killed here. And that's Maegor being crowned. War with the Faith Militant. Maegor's third wedding. The High Septim's Crystal Crown. I like the way they're dressed here. Has anyone had this book? Let's see what else we got. I do like the illustrations. Death in the Royal House. I had a thought last night as I was, or it may have been this morning, but anyway, while I was, at one time I've tried multiple different ways to tell different stories. There's one section of theophany, one part of it, which because I've been always trying to think of how do I actually just get stuff out for that regularly. And at one time I tried doing some type of like web comic for it, but I couldn't draw fast enough. And I was even trying to do very stylized silhouette like illustrations. But that was like 3 panels or 4 panels or something that was just telling the story. So it was kind of like Prince Valiant, I guess, in that way. But it occurred to me, there's the Iron Throne with lots of swords. But it occurred to me that that's kind of like something that shorts could be. Like if I was trying to get a story out, that like the reels, like as they call them on Instagram, or the TikToks and the YouTube shorts, Instagram reels, and TikToks, those are just supposed to be a short anyway. What if you took a story and then you put it out in like the 20 to 35 second segments, every day? So there's another like right there that's there in that format that you can scroll through and organize them in a playlist. So if you're coming in, you could start on one of them. Is anybody else doing a story through shorts like that? If that makes sense, I was talking about. So it'd be like getting a comic strip, except for it'd be like a video comic strip. Now you'd still have to find a way to make sure the whole thing would have to be scripted, a long part of it scripted. And then perhaps using different AI tech and stuff, you'd be able to animate them and get them done in a light way. You have to come up with what's the best way, a way that can get a lot of them done, because you'd need a lot of them. James says, really high production value. It is. So I do like this book. This is Aria and Rayla over here. Love the art. Yeah, so I can see why a lot of people who are fans of the Song of Ice and Fire, or the world in general, would want this. I'll have to dig into it eventually. The Wedding of Jaehaerys and Allison. Oh, that's now we're in some section of what's in the show. I don't want to read this because because I want to read then what the actual unreliable narrator's account is in Fire and Blood, but later. The Early Rain. GOT Multiverse DM says it's the perfect setup for a Ravenloft domain. Make any family one of the vampires. Yes, could be. James says, shorts can be static images as long as the camera is moving. You can scan over a static painting and it would work great. I tried that. I haven't seen anyone using shorts for that sort of storytelling. I haven't either, which doesn't mean it's not out there, of course. But it just kind of came to me. I guess it kind of came to me from where dreams come. It was either last night or this morning as I woke up and said, hey, you know what? That idea when I was trying to do the comic strip day to day to tell some of Theophany, that could there was no such thing as shorts back then to do that. Now, see, I tried that when I was doing the experimental Black Cipher. That's how those shorts are. They've got one static image, but it does have movement on the image, and it does have the words on the screen. I guess you have to decide whether or not you're going to put the words on the screen or not. Just have to figure that out. But I think it needs to be even more dynamic than that, than what I had done with Black Cipher anyway. The redesign of King's Landing. Allison at the Citadel. Andro Farman leaps to his death. Balon in the Dragon Pit. I like that. The death of Boris Baratheon. We might be into things that are not going to start coming next season. The later reign. So this may cover more than just what's in the death of Prince Aemon. The apex of power. Rhaenyra and Syrinx. Okay, so we're still with them. This right here. Oh, this is nice. I think I've seen this image before. So this is supposed to be the Great Tourney of 111 AC. I like that. You know, they do that. Coloring of the armor in a Game of Thrones in the world, and so this is a really cool, late period then whited out armor. That's really cool. A short online, I think, could certainly keep a writer writing. Yeah. Now you can't do it day to day. You'd have to say like the project is to do 100 of them and then release one a day. Oh, one of the ways Stephen King wrote his novels was that they were split up into smaller books. I bought several for my wife, which I believe made up the Green Mile. James says, "Oh, that is how they are. Man, too little room in my brain for all this memory." A short online, I think, could certainly keep a writer writing. Yeah, it could. I had thought about putting out shorts that are some of like the world building stuff, but I hadn't ever thought until last night about trying to tell a story in that way. Let everybody get their 25 to 35 seconds of story every day. The Seeds of War. Daemon at Driftmark. Daemon duels the Sea Lord's son. Oh, there's Luke removes. I don't know actually where we are. Luke removes Aemon's eye. The reign of Aegon II. The Knights of the Kingsguard were not all in King's Landing at the time of Viserys' death. 2, Sir Eric Cargill and Sir Laurent Marbrand were on Dragonstone with Rhaenyra. The 5 remaining at King's Landing were Sir Criston Cole, the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, Sir Eric Cargill, Sir Eric's twin, Sir Rickard Thorne, Sir Stephen Darklyn, and Sir Willis Fell. The conspiracy begins. This is all well done. Visenya's birth. The Moon Dancer. Also, Night Shift. If you use Vince Gillian's method, 100 shorts is about 2 episodes of Breaking Bad. Could you use that and backstories for Rabavania characters? Some could be referenced, others could be part of the books. Yeah, I could. I've got to figure out how to illustrate Rabavania. Well, no, I also got to figure out how to make how to illustrate the Christmas story. But Rabavania was challenging because a lot of the like diffusion models didn't. Breaking Bad. Yeah, that's what I thought. I got to figure out how to now all of a sudden. Well, see, in some ways the illustrations become easier now and even some of the editing. I was talking with Brennan, who we're using to create shorts the other day when we were at the art show. The writing is got to make room to write. Lots of writing to do. Unrelated, but a comic book company is licensed Franzetta's art. They're making comics based on his paintings. Oh. They have new artists inspired by him to make new stories. Well, that's cool. You may have to check that out. The Merman's Court. The 3 Chronicles of the Dance. Okay, so there's the 3 people who are chronicling this. All right, a Septon, Maester, and then the Fool, right? So I guess now we're getting into what season 2 is going to be. The Battle of the Burning Mill. Maylee's Vagar and Sunfire dance. One of the Kingsguard, the death of Sir Stefan Darklin. Prince Aemond at Harrenhal. Rhaenyra and her heirs. Definitely spoilers. Vagar's death was at the age of 181, marked the passing of the last dragon to have lived since the time of Aegon the Conqueror. By the time of his death, she had grown nearly as large as Balerion the Black Dread. Aemond and Daemon at Harrenhal. Storming the Dragon Pit. The destruction of the Dragon Pit. The Moon of the 3 Kings. The death of bold, see, the Caltrops? And the death of bold John Ruxton. Well, this is a cool book. I like this. That's a cool depiction of the Kingsguard. The investiture of the Kingsguard. I wasn't really a big fan of the Kingsguard armor in the original show, the Game of Thrones. And they were wearing like scale and stuff, which that may have probably been a budgetary kind of thing. But this kind of thing right here, this looks like the Kingsguard to me. That was probably the guy in white was probably one of the Kingsguard that we saw at the in that other image. But I like this. This is a good depiction of Kingsguard armor. I thought it was kind of weird in the show, but it was one of those things, I guess, that had to be established early on when budgets were lower. Yeah, there we go. There's another guy in white armor like that. That's cool. That's cool. Good morning, JDN. Conspiracies. Who is that? Sandok the Shadow meets Sir Armory Peak. Art credits. Does it have some kind of conclusion here or something? Targaryen lineage. I guess not. Uh-oh. The death of Sir Marston Waters. Well, all right. Cool book. Cool book. Oh. Look at that. There. Okay, there we go. So that's what that is. So now we know. Now we know the difference between the World of Ice and Fire, the Rise of the Dragon, what it is. Tells some of the same stuff that is in the Fire and Blood, but in a different way. So, but very cool. All right. So I am kind of a short one today, but that was what we got. So I'm going to go and get all the trying to get continue to get marketing done so we can bring projects out, and then probably even maybe I can do some writing today. But I got tons of marketing to do. I'm going to try to get out some clips over to the Table Talk channel about Ahsoka from last night. But really, the main thing, the projects, the marketing has to be done. So that's what the main priority is. And then getting back to writing later on. Hope you enjoyed it. So, all right, everybody, get your coffee, go forth, be creative, be constructive, and grind on. I'll see you tomorrow. Later.